Hello, I'm Andrii Krawchuk from the University of Sudbury, where I teach religious studies. I'm here in Toronto for the meeting of the Canadian Association of Slavists, which is taking place at Ryerson University. And as somebody who studies the religious situation, I get asked about late-breaking events in Ukraine. And one of these, just very recently in the past month, May 2017, was news from Ukraine that the legislators had, two legislators in particular, had proposed draft laws relating to the religious situation in Ukraine. The first of these laws had to do with the status of certain Orthodox churches that were deemed to be based in another country, more precisely an aggressor country. And so this law, draft law, was intending to have these jurisdictions re-register in Ukraine and to have their activities monitored to see if they would they were not engaging in supporting some of the separatists in Donbass or any kind of terrorist organizations. And then the second law had to do with the right of parishioners of various Orthodox parishes to determine for themselves what their affiliation would be, whether they wanted to stay with the Moscow Patriarchate or whether they wanted to affiliate with one of the other Orthodox jurisdictions in Ukraine, in particular the Kievan Patriarchate. Now, this is a process that has been taking place for a number of years. Over the last 3 years, there have been probably close to 100 Orthodox parishes of the Moscow Patriarchate that made that switch, made the decision to switch over to affiliation with the Kievan Patriarchate. And this, of course, has been received with much opposition and the cries of foul play by the Moscow Patriarchate. So these two laws were being proposed, and they were supposed to have been voted on May 18th. As it happened, that those proposals were taken off the table. I believe that happened because of pressure that was exerted by the Moscow Patriarchate. The Moscow Patriarchate can be credited, can be happy with having done its homework on this one. They exerted pressure through their contacts in the world community, the World Orthodox community, where they had Orthodox patriarchs from other churches stand up in support and in opposition to these laws as discriminatory, as anti-democratic, and so forth. They also had support and statements issued by the World Council of Churches. And also, apparently, there was some exchange of questions and answers from the Vatican. Apparently, the Ukrainian ambassador to the Vatican was summoned by the Secretary of State of the Vatican to discuss what was going on in Ukraine. And there were concerns, apparently, about, again, the democratic nature, the discriminatory nature of these proposed laws. So in a nutshell, they were taken off the table, nothing took place. One of these laws is actually in a second round, because 2 years ago they tried to pass something like that, didn't work. And basically it points to a situation where transfers are happening, people are voting to make the switch as parishes, but it's not very clear in terms of legalities what the fate of church buildings will be, what the fate of church lands will be. So there's a property issue there. In addition, I think the Moscow Patriarchate is saying, well, you can't just make that switch, we have to approve it from Moscow. So again, affairs inside Ukraine are being controlled by outside forces, and I think the intent of the legislators was to somehow regularize this within Ukrainian law. I think the question's not going to go away very quickly, and there will be probably further attempts to regularize a situation that is a little bit chaotic.